What do you do when you're overcome with an intense thought, emotion, or sensation? Did it work for you? Stick around, I'm going to walk you through 3 real quick diffusion exercises to help you lessen the effect of the experience. And if you can practice 1, 2, or all 3 of these, you can begin to notice such occurrences, pull away from them a little bit faster, and making you a whole lot more psychologically flexible, and therefore less stressed out. All right, first one, just bring to mind the thought that you're dealing with and notice how you would typically react, or if it's happening right now, what do you want to do right now? Is how you typically respond problematic? I mean, that is, does it make it better or not so much? Second question on top of that, is what I'm about to do or is what I did it make it better in the long term or just for the short term? And finally, did what you did eliminate that experience, that thought, that feeling in the long term? And you can keep repeating this. So again, focus on the recurring thought. Notice how you would typically respond. Is how you typically respond problematic? That is, does it work in the short term but not in the long term? Write these things down. Use a journal. Put them out in front of you. Of course, you don't have to do this. You can just keep doing what you're doing. If it's working, why change that? Go grab a pillow. We're going to use this to symbolize the experience that you're currently having, the thought that you're dealing with. And what I'd like for you to do is take the thought, imagine it is the pillow, put it on the pillow if you'd like. It's sitting on top of this pillow. And what I'd like for you to do is go ahead and put that on the top of your head. And yes, I actually do use this in session with some folks because sometimes it's kind of what it feels like. So you can even do this with me right now. Put something on top of your head and imagine it's that thought. Am I good enough? Is he going to like me? Is she going to like me? Am I going to pass this? Is the boss going to give me that raise? Should I ask for that raise? Whatever it happens to be, just notice that that's kind of a sensation. I actually have to move around more slowly. Now, if I'm not good enough is this thought, I'm not good enough, and it starts to rock. I don't want it to fall off of my head because that's just a mess and everybody will see it. I can actually start to experience it and notice that this is actually limiting how I can engage and interact in the world, right? And then once you've done this long enough, and yes, this can be and feel ridiculous, I can recognize that there is a pillow sitting on my head and it's impacting me and how I'm interacting with it. I could sit here and try to ignore it. It's actually starting to make the back of my neck kink up. So what I can do is I can instead just pull the pillow off, straighten up my hair, and put it right down in front of me. I'm not trying to escape it, not trying to avoid it, not trying to control it. I'm just letting it be. And this isn't too far off from one of the more recent skills I've put on here, dropping the rope, right up here. And since we were already doing silly things, let's just end this with a third and final silly thing that we can do today to deal with these thoughts that we don't want to have to deal with, and diffuse from them with a song. Now you can pick any song that you'd like, and you can pick any of the thoughts that you constantly find yourself stuck in, hooked by, struggling with. And let's just simply go with, I think I'm gonna mess this up. Actually, I know I'm going to mess this up. Definitive, definitely. This is a fact. I'm definitely going to mess this up. It's serious. And now I said pick your favorite song, or pick a song, so it could be any melody. I'm simply going to use the happy birthday song, but you could use whatever song you like. And remember that the thought was, I am going to fail at this. I am going to mess this up. So, I'm gonna mess this up. I'm gonna screw this up. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna mess all this up. Yes, it's gonna feel strange. It's gonna feel weird. Perfect. We totally want to disrupt that usual sense of feeling. We want to do something outside the box, something that's going to just shake everything up for a little bit and throw your mind for a loop for a moment. And it doesn't work to just do that one little, I'm gonna mess this up, gonna mess this up. We got to keep doing it over and over and over again. At least 45 to 60 seconds. Just keep singing the song. Pick your favorite pop song. Pick your favorite folk song. Pick your favorite country song. Swap out the actual lyrics with your thoughts that you can't seem to get rid of and sing them. You can also accomplish a very similar thing by just using a silly voice. Think Donald Duck, think Mighty Mouse, think, well, whatever your favorite anime or character is. Even Frodo, any of the hobbits. The most important thing is that we take it and remove it from its relationship to being so serious. We lighten it up and we begin to see, to diffuse. We see the thought as separate from ourself. All three of these exercises that we've just done help us to pull back, diffuse from the thought as if it was true, as if that's all that there was, and gives us just a little bit of space, allows us to see what we were doing, how we were minding, what the thinking mind was doing, so that in that moment we have enough space to begin to look around and see what's going on around us. Oh, bonus, I just remembered this. This would also be a very useful diffusion component, and you've always got it on you. It's your hands. So you can imagine that your thought is your hand. You can actually, if you need to, you could even write the thought on your hand, and then you can take that and you can put it right up to your eyes. Go ahead, just put your hand right up to your eyes. And if you were to look around with your hand on your eyes, that's all you see. That's what it's like to be fused heavily inside of that belief, that thought, that memory, that sensation. Now, the next thing we could do is to say to ourselves, I'm thinking whatever the thought is that's on your hand. And we can represent that by cracking the hand. So go ahead, do this first, crack it open, and notice how you begin to notice, I'm thinking whatever your thought was. I'm thinking I'm not going to be very good at this, or I'm thinking this video is going to be perceived as ridiculous. I am trying something new. I definitely felt like, this may be a little weird, but I'm doing it anyways. I'm thinking the thought. And then finally, the third part is I pull my hand away and I notice that I'm thinking the thought. Fused completely, moving away from it, giving ourselves more distance. From this perspective, I can't see the room at all. From this perspective, I can see that there are other possible options. There's more to the world than the back of my hand. And then finally, when I pull out in front, I notice that there's a whole lot more going on in the world around me. So there you have it. 3 plus a bonus diffusion techniques that you can try right now. You don't have to use all of them. I suggest practicing that for a week or two until you get it down. Then practice the next one, then practice the next one. Pick the one that was the easiest. Or if you want to practice being uncomfortable, pick the one that's the most ridiculous. Do that one first. That way you actually get to practice being uncomfortable doing the thing that you don't want to do, and you're going to get double for it. And why don't you tell me which one of the 4 of these you liked the most in the comments below, and give me a thumbs up below if this was useful for you. And of course, until the next time, may you be well.